Welcome to our Tuesday edition of Cronkite Sports Now. We've got all things Arizona sports today. Here's what we have in store for you. Today on Cronkite Sports Now, fantasy owners rage after Cardinals running back shuffle. The Coyotes head to the East Coast for a 4-game road trip. And what do fried Oreos, a Ferris wheel, and esports have in common? These stories and more coming your way on Cronkite Sports Now. Thanks for joining us on today's episode. I'm Anthony Totri, and I'll be your tour guide getting you through all things AZ sports. We kick off our show today with Sun Devil football. ASU suffered its worst loss of the Herm Edwards era against the Utah Utes on Saturday, losing 21-3. With that said, Coach Herm Edwards wasn't worried during the game. In fact, Edwards said he didn't panic when his team was down 14-0 on the road against the number 13 team in the country.
You know, we had the mindset this was going to be a game similar to Michigan State and similar to Cal. Right? That was kind of the plan going in. And lo and behold, when you looked at the game, it was 14-3. Be quite honest, I felt comfortable. We get a score, it's a one-score game going into the fourth quarter. And that's Cal, that's Michigan State.
Following the loss, ASU dropped from 17th in the AP poll to 24th. And the Sun Devils look to get back on track against the UCLA Bruins on Saturday. Don't look now, but the Arizona Cardinals are on a 3-game win streak. You could credit rookie quarterback Kyler Murray, who's been breaking rookie records, or Chase Edmonds, who found the end zone 3 times on Sunday. But if you ask Coach Cliff Kingsbury about Sunday's win, he's got someone else in mind, Patrick Peterson, who played in his first game back after a 6-game suspension.
There was a number 21 on that field that is pretty good. I mean, that brought a lot of confidence, a lot of swagger. I mean, the way he carries himself, he's one of the best players in the league, and he definitely helped. But all those guys have gotten better. A lot of those younger players are getting more reps and more live game reps. And, you know, Chandler was phenomenal, and Sizzle. And I just think it's a group that's getting better. You throw in 21, you throw in Vance being able to make some calls that maybe he wasn't able to make previously without him out there. It was a combination of things.
The Cards will need all the help they can get this Sunday to keep that win streak alive as the team travels to New Orleans to battle it out with the Red Hot Saints, who may get Drew Brees back under center. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's bring it back to a different aspect of last Sunday's game, the fantasy one.
Really?
Is that right?
Thanks for that heads up. Oh, I should have started Chase Edmonds in fantasy. Based on what? Like we're dumb. Like fantasy managers are dumb. Should have started Chase Edmonds in fantasy. Right? I literally tweet something. I quote tweet this and say, like, please favorite this if you hate this as much as I do. I'm over 15,000 likes on that tweet. Okay? So then the Arizona Cardinals Twitter handle at some point says something like, you know, to all the angry fantasy football owners out there, just enjoy the win. Just enjoy the win. No, you know what? Don't you dare troll us.
Clearly, ESPN's fantasy guru Matthew Berry was just a tad frustrated with the Cardinals keeping running back David Johnson active for last Sunday's game. Johnson, who has been dealing with an ankle injury, only played 3 snaps against the Giants. This is all the while backup running back Chase Edmonds ran for over 300 yards and 3 scores. Berry isn't the only fantasy football owner who lost his cool over Kingsbury's decision to keep Johnson active, but he is one with a rather large following. Berry's rant has over 9,000 favorites and more than 500,000 views on Twitter. At the end of the day, fantasy football owners were mad. Berry was upset, but Johnson, you know, the guy who everyone is ticked off for only playing 3 snaps, well, he's still day-to-day healing from his ankle injury. The Coyotes are back on the ice today against the New York Rangers, and if the past 3 games for the Yotes are any indication of how tonight's contest will go, well then in theory, Coyotes fans will be howling all game long. The Yotes have won 3 straight by a combined score of 14-6. However, if there is one thing fans might worry about, it's that the Coyotes' next 4 games are all on the East Coast.
Regardless of the schedule, I like the way we're playing, consistent. You know, always tough buildings come in when you come on the East Coast here with the Rangers, Islanders, Jersey, Buffalo. They're tough games, tough buildings, and you know, we got to be ready to play. Like, you know, it's just important that we stay consistent.
The 4-game road trip starts tonight with puck drop at 4 p.m. Phoenix time. We all love those classic carnival games you can play every year at the fair, but this year, the Arizona State Fair is trying something a little different. Cronkite News reporter Eric Ruby goes inside the newest competition to set up shop at the Arizona State Fairgrounds.
The State Fair, an Arizona institution since 1905, is experimenting with a new attraction this year.
Winner number 5.
In years past, going to the State Fair meant playing games like this. But now, it means using games like this.
The State Fair is holding an esports exhibition and competition for the first time ever. The event has everything from casual gaming experiences to collegiate level competitions and tournaments for money. State Fair representative and director of sponsorships Kat Landingen says despite it only being their first year, they're already feeling support from fans and sponsors.
We've gotten a lot of support online. We've gotten a lot of partners in the esports world all over the city contacting us, so that's amazing. That's one of the goals that we had.
Not only has the event brought eyes to the esports world, it's brought money. Through a partnership with the Arizona Lottery, the State Fair has put on daily cash matches where they'll be giving away $19,000 to the winners over the entirety of the fair. But one of the vendor coordinators, stage director Brian Hollis, thinks the importance of events like these at places like the State Fair goes beyond just the money.
I mean, just in general, esports is real. It's not going away. It's growing. It's only going to get bigger. It is the sport of the future. And whether you think sports have to do with athletics or not, it's not the point. The point is this is not going anywhere. And these being at agricultural fairs like this are a prime example.
This exhibit can bring in many new eyes to esports, as the Arizona State Fair has drawn upwards of 1 million fairgoers in years past. And it's already started to draw a crowd this year, thanks to collegiate competitions like the ASU vs. U of A rivalry match. While it has not yet been confirmed that esports will be a staple at the State Fair for years to come, the future looks bright. In Phoenix, Eric Ruby, Cronkite News.
If you want to check out all the esports happenings at the fair, make sure you do it soon. The Arizona State Fair will pack up and close its gates this Sunday. Now, it may only be Tuesday, but Arizona sports fans have a lot to be excited about this week. The Phoenix Suns begin regular season play tomorrow at Talking Stick Resort Arena against the Kings. And let's not forget about Phoenix Rising FC, who play in the USL Conference quarterfinals on Saturday night. So buckle up. The Valley of the Sun is about to be fully engulfed in sports. That does it for today's edition of Cronkite Sports Now. For Arizona sports stories from around the Valley, visit the Cronkite Sports tab on arizonasports.com. And as always, for top Arizona news stories, head over to our website at cronkitenews.azpbs.org and be sure to tune in tonight at 5 p.m. on Arizona PBS for our nightly newscast. On behalf of the entire Cronkite Sports Now crew, thanks for watching, and we hope to see you back here tomorrow, same time, same place.